Why not try something smart to chew on? The Lunchroom on RCI, Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom, informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI, food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International for Thursday, the 11th of September 2025, and it is on to program number 1449 of the Lunchroom. I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Of course, in addition to 101.1 FM, you can also get us at our website. It's rcistlucia.com, and we are streaming live on Facebook. You just have to search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International, and please be sure to like and share that as well with your friends and family. Of course, the number to call in to tell us what's on your plate in just a bit, that number is 452-3046, again 452-3046, and we also have a WhatsApp number which you can reach us on, 724-0008. Now, some birthday greetings for today. First, going out to Mr. Henri-Jacques Mangal. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope you're having a fantastic birthday celebration. We also want to send birthday greetings to Maria Alcius. Happy birthday to you, and we do hope that you are enjoying your very, very special day. Also to Miss Snalia Mahal. Happy birthday to you, Snalia, and we do hope that you're having a splendid birthday indeed. And also to Miss Lindsay Phillip. Happiest of birthdays to you. Hope you're having a wonderful birthday celebration. Now, look back in time to some of the things that happened on this day in history. And go back to pretty far back to the year 1297 up in Scotland, the Battle of Stirling Bridge, where Scottish rebel William Wallace defeated the English army there. In the year 1916, the first true self-service supermarket. It was called the Piggly Wiggly. It opened in Memphis, Tennessee. 2001, on this day, passengers and crew of United Airlines Flight 93 attempt to take control over the hijacked plane from terrorists, causing that plane to crash land in a Pennsylvania field, killing all 44 people on board. And, of course, that was very much tied to this other event, which, of course, happened moments later. Terrorists hijacking a passenger plane and crashing it into the Pentagon, killing 125 people. And also in part of that coordinated attack, terrorism attack on the United States, 2 passenger planes hijacked by Al-Qaeda terrorists crash into the New York World Trade Center towers, causing the collapse of both and the deaths of 2,606 people. Of course, the 9/11 terrorist attacks of 2001. We now head across to take in, for our dish of the day, our Republic Bank Corner.
Every bed in our hospitals tells a story of someone's mother, someone's brother, someone's friend. And when that story of care is complete, it's time for the next chapter, home. But too often, discharged patients are left waiting hours, days, weeks, sometimes months, not because they want to stay, but because no one comes. We understand life gets busy, but every extra day they wait means another patient, perhaps in pain, perhaps in crisis, can't get the bed they desperately need. So when the call comes that your loved one is ready, please be ready too. Pick them up, bring them back to the comfort of family, where healing truly continues. Because caring doesn't end at discharge, it continues with you. A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
And welcome back to our program for today, of course. And we were supposed to have brought you Republic Corner yesterday. We weren't able to do that, but it's happening today. We're making it happen. And this week, we're going to be diving into something that affects us all, the matter of financial literacy, the matters of budgeting, borrowing, understanding money, and all of that, and how it's really important towards achieving your goals. And we're going to be speaking about that in the context of Republic Bank's Pick Your Rate campaign, which is just about coming to an end. And certainly really, really important information being brought forward to us by Republic Bank. And joining us today is Petra Jalouis, I believe. And Petra, good day. How are you doing? Trisha, sorry about that. And how are you doing, Trisha? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And how are things going with you today? Okay, wonderful. We of course we're going to be speaking about financial literacy today. I understand. Is that correct? Okay, and I hope I do have the right set of questions for you, but if not, you might have to guide me a little bit. So when it comes to borrowing money, many people are very much unsure as to how how Republic Bank can assist them. And tell us a little bit about that. How would somebody go about knowing when it's the right time to head for taking in a loan? Okay, now what should customers consider before applying for a personal loan or home loan? Mhm. Wonderful. Now, can this campaign help people who want to consolidate their debts or manage their debts? Is that an option? R- right. Now, you're talking about financial empowerment, and that's really important, Trisha. Let's revisit financial literacy. Why is it so important for everyday people, not just the investors, not just business owners, to take financial literacy seriously? Wonderful. Now, what role do personal loans play in someone's overall financial strategy? Mm-hmm. Now, for a lot of people, loans sound scary. They're afraid of loans. The idea of getting into debt is very frightening, and they would want to perhaps stay away from that. What would you say to help them see borrowing in a more positive light? Right. And are there tools that Republic Bank offers that can support financial literacy beyond the actual loan application? Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Now, tell us, what tips do you have for people who want to become more financially literate, but they don't know where to start? Wonderful. Now, with just a few days left in the Pick Your Rate campaign, which of course we're speaking quite a lot about, and hopefully everybody out there knows what that's about, what would you say to someone still on the fence about applying? Mm-hmm. Mm. It's only 4 more days, and definitely not very many days in terms of business days either within that mix. So, yeah, we definitely want to encourage everybody who can get in there and look at that matter. And also, I think the importance of how even taking a loan and managing it properly certainly even assists in terms of building your own credit record and strengthening that relationship between you and the bank. And quite often you hear a lot of people saying that the very wealthy people are always taking loans, despite the fact that they have money there. Right. Right, indeed. So borrowing is certainly a really important part of financial management and creating that balanced portfolio that you definitely want to have between savings and debt. And so, Trisha, thank you so very much. It's clear that Republic Bank isn't just offering loans; you're actually helping people plan, grow, move forward, and doing that, of course, confidently. And so we very much thank you for sharing with us the whole matter of the Pick Your Rate campaign, which, of course, we mentioned is ending in 4 days' time, September the 15th. That's Monday, September the 15th. And there's real opportunity and value on the table there. So definitely want you to be encouraged to check out Republic Bank Eastern Caribbean Limited, RBC, and of course online as well as at the locations available. So Trisha, any parting thoughts and advice to us for our listeners? Thank you so very, very much, Trisha Ford, Personal Banking Officer at Republic Bank EC Limited here in St. Lucia. And we're so very pleased that you've been able to share with us financial literacy tips and, of course, all part of the opportunities available through the Pick Your Rate campaign on until September the 15th, next week, Monday. And do have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you. And of course, you've been listening to the Dish of the Day right here at the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International.
This has been The Daily Dish.
Every bed in our hospitals tells a story of someone's mother, someone's brother, someone's friend. And when that story of care is complete, it's time for the next chapter, home. But too often, discharged patients are left waiting hours, days, weeks, sometimes months, not because they want to stay, but because no one comes. We understand life gets busy, but every extra day they wait means another patient, perhaps in pain, perhaps in crisis, can't get the bed they desperately need. So when the call comes that your loved one is ready, please be ready too. Pick them up, bring them back to the comfort of family, where healing truly continues. Because caring doesn't end at discharge, it continues with you. A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs.
And welcome back to our program here at the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. And of course, unfortunately, we've been looking at the issue of violence in our country, right? And of course, violence across the Caribbean and the challenges that have, of course, come with that. Just today, in fact, word of another homicide, this time in the Active Hill community in Castries North. Apparently, appears to be another young male being impacted in this one, but details are still outstanding from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force in investigating this matter. I believe that may bring our number of homicides up to 49 or 50 for the year, and that puts us again, if we are to extrapolate at the current rate thus far, after 253 days in the year 2025, it would stand to reason that it's the projection puts us somewhere around 70 homicides, perhaps for the end of 2025, which I think is pretty much just about where we were at for last year as well. And so certainly the challenge of dealing with violent crime and homicides still remains a major concern for us as a small island developing state, and particularly because we are losing so many people who are really at the prime of their lives, young people, young men who really should be doing wonderful things, being productive, making meaningful contributions, and their lives are being snuffed away. And at a rate of 70 a year, that is certainly very, very worrying. These, you're dealing with a society, a country where we look at generally about 1,000 deaths a year is where we normally are looking at. And of course, a lot of that is purely natural, people dying as a result of diseases. But of course, the issue of gun violence, the issue of homicides, and of course as well the issue of accidents on the roads. Those are areas that tend to spike up the loss of life for younger people, and that certainly also has the impact of dragging down the whole issue of life expectancy, which is of course a measure of what the average St. Lucian should expect to live to, and especially if you have a lot of people dying young, that does not help in that regard. A lot of lost time, lost opportunity. It's never certainly something that we should be happy about. Sometimes we seemingly isolate ourselves or insulate ourselves from the realities of what is going on. But it is certainly going to have an impact on society. Of course, this is not a matter alone in St. Lucia, and of course in the United States. We have been seeing the impact of gun violence, and the United States has the distinction of being the country that has the highest private ownership of firearms in the world. And of course, that has had its battles, and within the context of the United States and the history of the United States, how it was formed, coming out of the American Revolutionary War against the British, and then of course that period of expansion into what was seen to be the Wild West. That has had its history in terms of gun ownership and people believing that they've got, of course, the right to protect their land, their 160 acres that they may have gotten from the government, and when they were out on the ranch, and the need to have firearms very much front and center. And we've seen how firearms have certainly somewhat defined some aspects of American culture, and it's enshrined within the U.S. Constitution by amendment. And so this has been a major issue and a point of contention between forces of the left and forces of the right, persons who believe that there must be caps and controls on the matter of firearms, particularly the type of firearms that individuals can in fact own. It certainly is one thing to have perhaps just a handgun, but what we of course are witnessing especially in the United States of America, is the ability to actually own high-powered weapons and semi-automatic weapons and weapons which have long ranges. And unfortunately, yesterday we witnessed the loss of life of an individual who had become pretty popular, particularly among young people, by the name of Charlie Kirk, originally out of Illinois, a young 31-year-old who headed an organization called Turning Point Action, or Turning Point USA. and he was effectively a favorite amongst the right, the conservatives, and in fact his organization was certainly that of a conservative bent, and taking the battle, so to speak, to the young people, youthful people all around campuses in the United States of America with his message, which was, of course, all very much driven by the right in terms of even his funding and what he did, and having debates, quote unquote, in different locations around the United States of America. And it so happened that he was in Utah and at a college in Utah over there, and it appears that a person with a sniper rifle seems to have been the assassin in this heinous attack, which of course has been captured. It was captured amongst the thousands of people who were very much present there at the event. But beyond that, of course, that video has undoubtedly gone viral. Unfortunate images of the actual shooting itself occurring right in the midst of it all. Of course, as a result of that, we've seen quite a lot come out of it in terms of statements by Donald Trump. He was certainly very much influenced by Donald Trump. He was an evangelical Christian, and of course we know that they have tended to support Trump quite a bit, Christian nationalists in some sense, and that has been a major pull for a lot of individuals coming out of his ilk. The matter, of course, has been very divisive, and it's going to be interesting to see how it is being rolled out. Of course, for Mr. Trump and for many people on the right, they see this as it has already been labeled as an attack from the left, and it has already been labeled as this individual becoming a martyr for freedom, as had been put forward by Mr. Trump. I think he's already suggesting that he's going to be posthumously awarded something from the United States, an award. So we're going to have to wait and see how this, of course, all pans out. And, of course, quite telling that at the time when he was speaking, when he was in fact shot, he was in fact speaking about the whole matter of guns and the whole matter of mass shootings, and in fact the question that was being asked of him was that, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? And that I think is very telling, of course, because the United States has been facing serious problems with young people for lots of different reasons who have become socially disconnected, and they have end up into these very dark spaces where they end up deciding that they need to kill other people. And we've seen that year after year after year after year, from state to state, whether it's Columbine or in is it Sandy Hook, and in so many different places, shootings occurring at schools. Certainly is not the kind of United States that I think anybody wants to live in. And so this incident is certainly raising the issue of violence and the issue of gun ownership and access to that kind of firepower in the hands of private citizens. Well, we're going to have to take a break at this point in time to take in our weather report.
And it's now time for our weather report, brought to you by Island Style. Girl, I've been so stressed searching for the perfect tiles to complete my home.
Really?
Yeah, it's always the same white, beige, and gray tiles with these tile stores. Like they're all buying from the same place. You're the design expert. Help me, please. I'm fed up.
What are you looking for?
Something different. Something that says Caribbean beauty and suits my personality. Something vibrant and classy with a little razzle dazzle.
Okay, Ms. Razzle Dazzle, I know just the place. Island Style Tile and Bath, they're my #1 store for everything tile. And with their new In Living Color collection, you'll find the most gorgeous tiles to give you that splash of Caribbean flair you're looking for.
That sounds perfect.
I'll even take you myself and throw in a free design consultation.
I'll never say no to that, sis. I can't afford you anyway.
Visit our Island Style showrooms in Castries, Rodney Bay, and View Fort, or call 450-452 or 453 Tile. We'll help bring your vision to life in living color.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And the forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing from between east and east-northeast near 18 miles per hour or 30 kilometers per hour. Weather fair to occasional cloudy skies with a few brief showers. Forecast for the Lesser Antilles. Fair to occasional cloudy skies with a few brief scattered showers, mainly over the Windward Islands. The tropical weather outlook. The tropical high pressure system will maintain light to moderate easterly winds across the Lesser Antilles during the next few days. A weak unstable condition will result into cloudy periods and showers over portions of the region during the forecast period. Two tropical waves located over the central and eastern tropical Atlantic are both moving westward near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour. A third tropical wave is forecast to emerge off the west coast of Africa over the next couple of days. Slow development of this wave is expected over the weekend or early next week. As this wave moves west-northwest near 15 miles per hour or 24 kilometers per hour over the tropical Atlantic. And that was your weather report, brought to you by Island Style.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Girl, I've been so stressed searching for the perfect tiles to complete my home.
Really?
Yeah, it's always the same white, beige, and gray tiles with these tile stores. Like they're all buying from the same place. You're the design expert. Help me, please. I'm fed up.
What are you looking for?
Something different. Something that says Caribbean beauty and suits my personality. Something vibrant and classy with a little razzle dazzle.
Okay, Ms. Razzle Dazzle, I know just the place. Island Style Tile and Bath, they're my #1 store for everything tile. And with their new In Living Color collection, you'll find the most gorgeous tiles to give you that splash of Caribbean flair you're looking for.
That sounds perfect.
I'll even take you myself and throw in a free design consultation.
I'll never say no to that, sis. I can't afford you anyway.
Visit our Island Style showrooms in Castries, Rodney Bay, and View Fort, or call 450-452 or 453 Tile. We'll help bring your vision to life in living color.
And welcome back to the Lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean and Radio Caribbean International. And of course, if you want to call in to tell us what's on your plate today, the number to do so is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. And the other option is our WhatsApp number, 724-0008. Again, 0008. Let's go to the phone lines at this time. Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchroom. How are you doing, sir? Wonderful. Well, there are theories that the U.S. would have known, based on their own information, their radar information, that they would have been able to have known that those planes were heading to Doha. They, yeah, did not, yeah. It, Iran, yeah, they claim the same thing. Yeah. It is, yeah, it is gonna very much solidify the belief that is held by a lot of countries and a lot of people that Israel is effectively a sort of a client state of the United States, and they are they're very much acting in the interest of greater U.S. policy as well. But of course, and Israel is acting on its own to some degree, because I mean, obviously they have a vested interest in their own existence and survival, and so a lot of the actions that they are taking seem to be very, very controversial. Now, I mean, as I said, and you've probably aware of the largest U.S. base, I think, in the Middle East is in Qatar, in Doha. And I'm pretty certain that they've got lots of, and yeah, I'm pretty certain that they know of the existence of, a lot of information, a lot of radar and satellite information in real time as to where things are coming from, and yeah. And what they're also saying is that it's been a bit of a situation where they quote that they want to do negotiations. They try to get people to the table, and it sometimes ends up that they end up killing these people that they've tried to bring to the table. It is a very but caller, the United States, the United States president has already stated very clearly how he views Gaza. He wants to turn Gaza into a Riviera, a resort. He wants to be able to, yeah, right, right. It's going to become the Gazan Riviera. And he's got no issue with the idea that Gaza should be depopulated, ethnically cleansed, with Palestinians taken out of Gaza, and the entire place turned into a sort of a resort space, Well, that has also been speculated that. Yeah, there have been many bits of speculation about Gaza being looked at because of, right, its exclusive economic zone, so the maritime space of Gaza being also an area of great interest for Israel as well. So, yeah, that is a, it's very, very unfortunate that this whole entire thing is going on. In fact, okay, thanks very much, caller, for that contribution, and the powerless nature of it is of how countries in the United Nations are seemingly unable to take any kind of action at all in this matter is very telling, and it's very, very, very unfortunate, this entire matter. And we're on the anniversary, 24th anniversary of 9/11, right? And Al Qaeda, and the actions that were taken by Al Qaeda came out of a particular concern regarding the presence of the state of Israel and the treatment of Palestinians and Arabs in the Middle East, and it led to, of course, very unfortunate terrorist attacks, which killed thousands of people. We're now seeing this attack. We're not calling it terrorist attacks, I suppose, but hundreds of thousands of people being impacted right about now in Gaza. And the kind of ability, we know that there are countries who have the means to be able to step in and say, hey, we're not going to support this. We're not going to allow you to take certain actions. We don't believe that the actions that you're taking are responsible or justifiable. We understand that you have interests in terms of your own security, but you are going overboard. Who is to step in, and who's stepping in and saying that? I mean, all countries have national security concerns. In the case of St. Lucia, look what happened with respect to when we had Operation Restore Confidence, and what came out of that in terms as the police response and allegations made regarding the matter of police brutality and police killings. And there were actions in the Leahy law, which placed St. Lucia into this bracket where it could no longer receive funding for the police, right? And guaranteed there is still quite a lot of money coming out of the U.S. Treasury heading to the state of Israel, and it is still funding weapons and ammunition. It's still funding defense systems that can protect Israelis. It's still funding a lot of things at this point in time. The biggest beneficiary of U.S. aid being the state of Israel, and so it can't exist without that going on. So it is certainly a very two-sided state of affairs when we are looking at the matter of Israel and Palestine. And I'm not sure that the idea of this two-state solution is what is ever going to fly at this point, because you really have a situation where Gaza is looking like, the intent is to completely destroy it and to be able to force everybody out. It's going to become such a failed state. Already it wasn't a great place, but it's going to become, so unlivable that people are now facing famine, starvation, or trying to get out, trying to flee. It's being stuck between more than a rock and a hard place for the average Palestinian living in Gaza right about now. And people are literally dying about it. So it is, ethnic cleansing. It is genocide. These types of actions are what people found abhorrent in Europe in the 1940s when we're speaking about the Holocaust. And here we're now seeing another very similar type of action being undertaken by people, not in the 1940s, but in a time that should be far more enlightened, in the 21st century, in 2025. It's happening. And that, I think, is something that we clearly need to call out for what it is in respect of these actions over in Gaza. It is are we going to see an end to it? Is it going to be a matter where the Palestinian people are going to be so broken that they're just completely defeated? I mean, that is effectively what it appears the desire is by the Netanyahu regime at this point in time, and a very, very unfortunate turn of events as we continue to see them roll out. We do have a clip that I just want to play a little bit of in terms of looking at Charlie Kirk, the issue of the assassination that occurred yesterday. And as I indicated, U.S. President Donald Trump has even decided to fly the flag at half-mast around the country because of this individual who, of course, was pretty close to his campaign and efforts, the whole MAGA movement and all of that. So let's take a listen to at least the first part of that clip, which was actually it's a piece off YouTube entitled "Mapping the Charlie Kirk Assassination," which in fact was just recently posted. So let's take a quick listen.
On Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk speaks at an event in Orem, Utah. It is at the Sorensen Center courtyard on the campus of Utah Valley University. The event, part of his American Comeback Tour, features his signature Prove Me Wrong debate format. Kirk is positioned at a table beneath a large tent. Students come up and have a chance to ask him a question and debate with him. Approximately 20 minutes into his presentation, an audience member identified as a student questions him about mass shootings.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Kirk asks a question, but then it gets interrupted.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Oh my God. Go, run.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get to go to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. It's a high-energy conference for us. It's a way to reward our best members that have been...
They organize speeches with ever bigger conservative American thinkers. The young Charlie Kirk quickly becomes a fixture of the American political conservative landscape.
I started an organization, Turning Point USA, 2.5 years ago, around 2 key values: free markets and limited government.
In 2016, he speaks at the Republican National Convention. When Trump secures the Republican nomination, he and Turning Point embrace the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president. At the same time, he begins using modern media outlets as a way to spread his political message. But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of views, in large part fueled by debates on college campuses. In 2018 comes Campus Clash, a college tour with Candace Owens. In 2024, the You're Being Brainwashed tour, a college tour with former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On September 10th, 2025, Kirk initiates the American Comeback Tour, a series of events for college students across the United States. The format includes his classic Prove Me Wrong table sessions, where he invites attendees to debate his political and cultural viewpoints in a public setting. The event at Utah Valley University is designated as the first stop on this tour. Eyewitness accounts describe hearing a loud bang.
Go down and see get closer, or are they like restricting you guys up here or what?
Nah, it's too crowded.
It's just, there's just so much.
Before we had a flag and we had it, so it was positioned above the tent, so it would be in the camera. They made us move.
What was that? Oh my God! He just got shot! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Immediately following the sound, Charlie Kirk's head jerks backwards. A significant volume of blood gushes from his neck. Although an autopsy is yet to be released, speculations state he is hit partially in his jugular and spine. Phone footage shows that audience members react to the noise instinctively, collectively looking to the right and then crouching down. People scatter in multiple directions. His security personnel and multiple police officers cover him and try to bring him away to surrounding vehicles as soon as possible. Through phone recordings later released on Twitter, a figure is identified on the roof of the Losey Center.
So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? He just ran from over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying.
A building located approximately 200 yards or 180 meters from Kirk's position. It seems the shooter is lying in a prone position, shooting down with a clear view of his target. This individual is observed both prior to and following the shot, and is seen retreating from the rooftop. Based on these videos, the shooter is placed at a more accurate guesstimation of 100 to 120 meters from where Kirk is sitting. Presumably, the shooter escapes over the roof of the building after taking the shot. Charlie Kirk is carried to a police vehicle parked just behind the tent where he is speaking from. He's then transported to the local Timpanogos Regional Hospital. Initial reports indicate his condition is critical. Utah Valley University spokeswoman Ellen Trainor states that a suspect is in custody and it's not a student.
Dare you! How dare you! How dare you! How dare you! How dare you!
Political figures begin to issue statements. President Donald Trump posts on Truth Social, calling for prayers for Charlie Kirk. Vice President J.D. Vance also expresses calls for prayer. Utah Governor Spencer Cox condemns the violence, as does California Governor Gavin Newsom and many other prominent political figures. At 2:26 MDT, FBI Director Kash Patel also announces on social media that a suspect in the shooting is in custody. But only a couple of hours later, all statements are retracted. Cox clarifies that George Zinn, the individual initially detained, is not the assassin, but has been charged with obstruction of justice. A second suspect is also arrested, but later released. As of right now, the authorities state their investigation continues. At around 2:40 MDT, Charlie Kirk's death is finally confirmed. President Donald Trump announces it on Truth Social. He is survived by his wife, daughter, and son.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
The cause of death is confirmed as a gunshot wound to the neck. No further suspects have been taken into custody as of September 11th at the time of this upload. President Trump orders all American flags to be lowered to half-staff across the country until Sunday evening as a mark of respect. We are reminded again of how real the present danger of political shootings is in the United States. For us, on the outside, looking in from Europe, it's a brutal reminder of how politically heated things are in the country across the ocean. This video wasn't a walk in the park. It took us less than a day after the shooting happened.
Right, thanks very much. And Of course, that giving a bit of background and context regarding this unfortunate assassination over in Utah in the United States of America involving Mr. Charlie Kirk. Of course, we no doubt you'll be hearing more about that and how things unfold in the days to come. But it, in very many ways, certainly is showing, as the video is pointing out, how divisive, divided this entire situation is in terms of culture and cultural divisions that exist right now in the United States. And so we'll have to end it here, though. We're actually over time on the lunchroom. We'll be back again tomorrow, God willing, for another program. And we do hope that you'll be able to join us for that. I'm your host, Calix George Jr., saying goodbye.